You're listening to Miss Style, Strength, and Grace with Deidra Murphy. This is your one-stop shop for style, fashion, health, and fitness. Deidra's passion is to help empower women to reach their fullest potential, both inside and out. Deidra and her guests will be discussing how to develop your style, health, and lifestyle hacks to energize your day and inspire you to keep reaching higher levels of success. Deidra is a professional fashion stylist, health guru, and Mrs. Washington 2017. It's time to get open and honest with Deidra.
Hello and welcome. So my husband and I travel a ton, especially before we have kids. We want to get in a lot of international travel. And after this year winning Mrs. Washington, it seems like we've been out of town every weekend. Actually, this summer we were out of town 3 out of every 4 weekends every month. It's just kind of crazy. Even if it's just me going on a solo road trip for an appearance. I used to be that girl that seriously used an entire day just to pack for a weekend trip with checked luggage. And now I have packing down to a science. I can pack for a weekend trip within an hour without even checking bags. And you know what? You may be able to already do that, but that was huge for me. I remember one time, actually, when Chris and I were still just dating, we went to a weekend trip in California. We went to the San Francisco Bay Area, and I had so much luggage that not only did I have to check a bag, I had to pay for the overweight fee. That was like $50. I think it's even gone up since then. And this is, like I said, when we were just heading down there for a wedding, and thankfully he knew what he was getting himself into at that point. But regardless, life, I've learned, is too short to pack everything but the kitchen sink. So just this last September, we were able to head off to my dream destination of Paris, and I was able to fit my luggage in the roller-sized carry-ons. Whoop, whoop. And it just made traveling to Europe so much more enjoyable when I didn't have to worry about the stress of losing my luggage from the airline. And not only that, we were taking the metro from the airport back to the city, and it just makes it a lot more convenient. So today I'm summing up 10 of my biggest tips for traveling with style, especially as we enter the holidays and travel season for many of us, whether we're traveling just to local destinations or even across the country to see friends and family, or maybe lucky you are headed off to a resort destination in someplace warm to enjoy the holidays in the resort destination while the rest of us are chilling our booties off. But regardless, these travel tips are universal. Now, some of them all have some, little tips that might have to do with traveling, whether it's in the winter, or even some little, tips for if you're traveling to a warmer destination. So we'll get to those as we go through each item. So my number one tip is to choose a color palette. I recommend 3 to 4 colors that easily work together. So for instance, 2 years ago, we traveled to Italy in November, and I knew it was going to be chilly over there. The weather was starting to kind of change, and we might have rain, we might have sun, you never knew. And the 4 colors that I packed were camel, burgundy, black, and then a creamy color. So those 4 colors were perfect for mixing and matching with one another. And it worked well in the chillier months, in Italy, very fall-esque. And I was able to incorporate fun prints like leopard, because leopard print had all those colors in there, and even add texture with like furs and sweaters and accessories. So once you pick your color palette, if you're thinking about packing an item and it doesn't work with that color palette, it doesn't get packed, period. So it makes streamlining that process and weeding out the I might just pack this just in case, helps weed those items out. And 2, it helps even when you're bringing makeup. So wear the makeup that will coordinate nicely with the colors that you're wearing. So for instance, maybe 1 to 2 lipsticks instead of, if you're like me, I'm like, oh, I could bring this one and that one, but I also need Ruby Woo. And, no, go down to like 1 or 2 lipsticks that work well with that color palette. And I always recommend doing 1 lighter color and 1 dark. So then you can mix the colors to create different moods. and maybe you're not a dark lipstick kind of person. I don't just necessarily mean like dark, like moody lipstick, but have something that has a little bit more of a vibrant color, and then one that's a little bit lighter, so then you can get different shades between the two by mixing your lipsticks. Even for eyeshadows, I find one palette that has like my favorite go-to colors for my eyes. And then again, it makes it just easier to pack, so then you don't have to pack a bunch of individual pods and colors. So my favorite travel eyeshadow palette is actually called Purple x9 by MAC. And it has obviously purples, because I like to wear purples on my eyes, but it has different shades within there too, so I can create like a really neutral and nude eye look to even more like a bold nighttime evening look with my eyeshadow. Tip number 2, bring a pair of booties. Booties I've been obsessed with as of late, not just lately, but the last 5 years. They are seriously the most versatile shoe, especially when you find a pair that is comfortable and in a height of heel that you're used to wearing. So if you're used to wearing something with a heel and you get a bootie that's 1 to 2 inches, maybe even 3 inches, and you're good to go with that, awesome. If you hate wearing heels and you find a great pair of flat booties, more power to you. Just make sure it's in a height that you're comfortable with. And it's even more helpful when you can find a neutral color bootie, like maybe taupe, black, brown, gray. I found this wonderful pair of taupe colored stacked heel suede Eileen Fisher booties. And I actually took them to Paris with me, and they were just fantastic. I literally wore them with everything. When I paired them with brown, they looked really brown and warm. But when I paired it with black, it looked more gray. I swear this shoe is like a chameleon. And booties in general can really go with everything from dresses, jeans, skirts, leggings, anything. When wearing with jeans, I do suggest cuffing the jeans just a bit so a peak of skin around the ankle shows. It helps showcase that really small portion of your leg and actually makes you look taller and leaner. Jeans tucked into booties is okay. It's not my personal favorite unless it's like the right pair of jeans. So for instance, the look of a step hem pair of jeans. So that's the ones where we're seeing right now where it's slightly cropped in the front of the denim as compared to the back part of the jean. And those hitting like right above the shaft of the bootie. I'm a fan of that. But otherwise, just personally, it's one of those things that I don't like the look of a jean tucked all the way into the boot. However, booties can instantly dress up an outfit and make it even really versatile. If your legs get chilly, like let's say you're wearing it with a dress, you can bring some opaque tights or textured tights for extra warmth. So number 2 was pack a pair of booties. Still talking about shoes. Number 3, pare down the shoes. Shoes are the heaviest items that you can bring, so start by narrowing those down first. And second of number 3, wear the heaviest pair that you have while on the plane. So if you are bringing maybe a knee-high pair of boots, definitely wear those on the plane because they're going to be the heaviest. Or even if it's a stacked heel bootie and it's pretty heavy, wear those on the plane. Then you can stuff your littles and your unmentionable items into the shoes when you pack, rolling them as you pack them and like stuffing them in there. So for instance, undies, camis, those fit nicely in there and you don't really have to worry about whether or not they get wrinkly. And then I suggest 3 to 4 categories of shoes. So the first category would be one dressy shoe. It could be that bootie that we just talked about in number 2, or maybe it's a pair of heels that you know that you'll be able to last in and walk around in, depending on your travel plans. So if you're going to a destination and maybe you're going to hit like an evening church service for Christmas or a nice formal event or dinner or maybe a show on Broadway, you would probably want to have a really dressy pair of shoes that could be maybe a heel, but it could also be that bootie, not Hootie and the Blowfish, but bootie. So like I said, one dressy shoe. Second category would be one pair of sneakers. I would suggest adding some pizzazz and personal flair. Maybe it's a cool leather pair of sneakers. Maybe it's got some texture or a print or even sequins or pearls on there. Have them be comfortable, number 1. And so it's a flat, pair of sneakers. Maybe it's got a slight wedge on there if you're comfortable with that, but it's not the same as your gym sneaker. This is not what I'm talking about as far as a shoe you would actually run a marathon in or take to the gym, like your, Nikes. Well, Nike does actually have some pretty cool casual sneakers, but it wouldn't be like your, what's that brand? I can see it, but I can't think of it. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. There's a difference between cool sneakers and gym shoes. Number 3 category would be a flat. So something that's great for walking around in, sightseeing, and again, it depends on your comfort level with heels, but opt for something that's fairly flat unless you need a little bit of height for stability and cushion. My favorite pair that I always bring everywhere is a little pair of Dorsey flats by Vince. Not Vince Camuto, but just that brand Vince. I have broken them in and they're super comfortable. They're dressy or casual. I can wear them with jeans to dresses to skirts, and I can literally last all day in them because they're so flat. I have a flat footbed myself, so I actually can't do anything with a really high arch or a lot more cushion and stability on the bottom, but maybe you need something that has a little bit of a chunkier sole just for more comfort. So find something that's a flat that's really, really comfortable that can go either way. It also varies with the weather. If you're headed somewhere warm, maybe your dressy flat is a sandal that has some sort of embellishments or, jewels or something on there that can take your maxi dress from being on the beach to dinner at the resort. Maybe you're in the city. Maybe a dressy ballet flat will let you walk the city with ease as you head from dinner to the ballet in New York. Whatever it is, make sure it's something that you feel comfortable in. So always bring a pair of flats. And again, it could be a sandal, it could be a Dorsey flat or a pointed toe flat or a ballet flat, just something that you are comfortable and used to wearing and have broken in. And then the last category of shoe would be some sort of active wear. For me, that means my actual Nike running shoes, and they're hot pink, so I love wearing them. But for you, it might be a pair of hiking shoes. Think about your lifestyle and the active things that you do and what you're going to be doing on your trip. So for instance, I know if we're going to a beachy resort area, I still bring my Nike running shoes because I know I'm probably going to get some sort of workout on the beach, or we might hike some, waterfalls or mountains or something during our exploration days. For you, maybe it's that you're in a city and you're walking around. So find something that you're going to feel comfortable in, or maybe you're, going to be active in. Number 4, creating mix and match options with tops and bottoms. So I'm going to break down kind of each and how many numbers of each to probably pack with you. So 3 bottoms, at least 2 pairs of pants in your most comfortable style. I'd recommend at least one option being black so you can make them seem like a dressy pant at night. And that for you could be a black jean. Maybe it's a slouchy pant. Maybe it's just a black, almost like a slack or something. But I would suggest one of them being black. Skinnies are also really versatile because you don't have to worry about length and what shoes they work with. You can wear skinny jeans with pants you can wear skinny jeans or skinny pants with any shoe height or option that you bring. So the skinny jeans could go with, your booties, your flat shoes, whatever that was, your dressy shoe. If you're a skirt kind of girl and you like to bring or wear skirts, I would suggest bringing one skirt. So there's your 3 types of bottoms: 2 pants, 1 skirt, 1 cotton skirt, or even a fabric that you feel great in and in a shape that works for you. So maybe the most flattering shape for your figure is an A-line skirt. So bring an A-line skirt. Maybe you have long, lean legs and a pencil skirt looks fantastic on you. Then bring it as a pencil skirt. My suggestion is to keep it simple, so it's kind of a clean slate and blank canvas. You could make it seem with a dress by tucking a blouse in, maybe even belting it so it all seems like one piece. Or you could even layer it up with like a sweater and booties, a scarf, or even a hat. Maybe, layer up a chunky sweater with it and do a little front tuck, and it makes it seem really casual but comfortable. If you don't like wearing skirts, try a pant option other than jeans. Maybe it's a silky pant that you can dress up for a night on the town, or even maybe it's a slouchy jogger pant. I have this slouchy pant from Eileen Fisher, and it's this like cozy viscose material. It's so amazing. I can literally crumple them up in a ball, shove them in my suitcase, and bring them out when I land, and they're not wrinkly and they're super comfortable. But I can dress them up, like add a pair of pumps and a cute top and maybe a little like leather jacket, and I feel really dressy. Or I can pair them down with sneakers and a hoodie or something, and I feel really comfortable. So something like that might be a good option for you. Maybe it's a pant in an uber trendy fabric like velvet. So make this option kind of your wild card, but still make sure it fits your color palette. As far as tops go, I would recommend, 2 to 3 blouses. And again, this depends on how long you're going to go for somewhere. If you're only going for a weekend, maybe it's going to be 1 to 2 blouses. If you're going for a week somewhere, maybe you can have 3 or 4, maybe 5. But at least one of your blouses should be a collared shirt or something you can layer under a sweater or a jacket. So maybe it has a collar, or maybe it's something that has like a bow tie, like a bow neckline on it. And that way you can layer underneath a cardigan or another shirt or a neckline. And so you can have it layered underneath. Everything from, silky blouses to structured buttons ups, or even a plaid option would apply here. So maybe you're more casual, try a great plaid button down that you can do lots of different things with. Like you can layer a plaid button down over a graphic print t-shirt and make it really casual. Or you could put a plaid button down with, a dressier jacket and a statement necklace and, a dressier shoe like a bootie or something. And now it feels more nighttime appropriate. So that's kind of the options for blouses. And then I always recommend at least like 2 to 3 t-shirts or casual tops. These could be graphic prints, simple white t-shirts. There's always in my suitcases packed a white, just plain white t-shirt. I like a v-neck because then I know, okay, if all else fails, I can throw on jeans, a bootie, a white tee, and a statement necklace and some sort of jacket like a blazer or a leather jacket, and boom, I've got an outfit made. And then I always recommend 1 to 2 sweaters. Again, this depends on like what time of year you're traveling and where your destination is. But even if you're going to a warm weather destination, you still need a sweater for maybe like a chilly night on the beach. Maybe the wind kicks up in the evening, something you can layer up. And you'd want to choose a more lightweight material, maybe like a linen for this if you're going to someplace beachy, versus if you're going someplace cold, maybe you're choosing something that's wool or cashmere. And again, the sweaters, we've already discussed blouses. So you could have one of your sweaters be an open style cardigan to layer over blouses or t-shirts, or you could have one of the sweaters be, a pullover sweater that again, you can layer up over, a blouse, or you can layer underneath something like a big scarf, whatever it is. But I recommend at least like 2 sweaters. And then my last mix and match piece would be a topper jacket. And this depends on your personality. If you're maybe a lover of a classic blazer, then pack a blazer that you could layer up over a daytime outfit. And then suddenly that outfit has turned more evening appropriate by adding the blazer. Maybe you're swapping out the sneakers for your heels. And, now you feel ready for a night on the town. Maybe you kind of have an edgier personality, and to you love a moto jacket that adds a bit of an edge to maybe otherwise soft and girly look. Make sure it's comfortable. Make sure you can easily fit it over your sweaters and your tops without adding too much bulk. So again, this could even be, maybe an outer piece like a vest. A vest can easily change the entire look of an outfit. So you could layer it up with a plaid shirt for a really casual feel, and then change it out to being over a silky blouse for evening. So one sort of topper piece, and make sure it again fits your color palette and fits your personality. Tip number 5 is one dress. Again, this comes down to if you are comfortable in dresses, use one that's kind of a blank space that you can easily dress up or down. Black is obviously an easy option, but it could just be a color or a simple pattern that you really like. I suggest a cotton or some sort of stretchy material so you can stay comfortable. This summer, I wore a midi dress by Michael Stars to travel in to New York City. And during the day, I wore it with sporty sneakers and a moto jacket because I always get cold on planes. And then later in the week, I wore that same dress without the jacket with edgy heeled booties and a mixed metal statement necklace And then I felt suddenly ready to go for like drinks and appetizers. So make sure it's something you can wear more casual, like with flats or sneakers, and then more dressed up with, say, booties, heels, a blazer, and a jacket. So, and again, make sure it's something that you're comfortable in. If you're not comfortable in dresses, then this is where that pant option. So again, going back to rule number 4, where I talked about, layering up with different options, that's where that fun pant option would come in. Number 6, using accessories to switch out the looks, not the actual clothes. So again, you kind of have your core pieces of what we just talked about, and then you would make different looks feel and look different based on accessories. So you can make an otherwise casual daytime look switch to nighttime glamour by adding a statement necklace or chunky jewelry. You could use an oversized scarf as a poncho for warmth during the day, and then lose the poncho, add a necklace and a jacket, and now you have a nighttime outfit without the scarf. Bonus about packing a big scarf is that you can use it as a blanket on a flight, so I always pack a scarf for anywhere. You can use hats and sunglasses to give some personality to your look. Maybe only pack one hat and maybe one beanie style hat, so you can easily pack the flatter hat in your carry-on and maybe wear the bigger, maybe it's a big floppy hat, maybe it's a fedora, whatever it is. You can actually wear that on the plane so you don't get it ruined and smashed. I would also pack 2 to 3 belts, at least one being a skinny width belt and one belt that you can wear at your natural waistline. So you can have one belt that you can really wear with your jeans and your pants and actually wear it in the belt loops. And then another one that you can layer over things like dresses or even over a sweater to give it a fresh feel, or just a pop of fun color or a print with a simple t-shirt and jeans. Number 7, travel with a sophisticated backpack. Backpacks have become my best friend when it comes to traveling. It's so easy for keeping all of your stuff with you. Your hands are free when you're traveling, especially if you're traveling abroad. Plus, you can sling it over one shoulder and then instantly it feels like a purse. My favorite backpack that I like to travel with is actually by Rebecca Minkoff, and it's called the Julian backpack. She still makes this style and I love it so much. I finally got it in 2 colors. I got it in like a slate gray color, and then one is like a camel color, just so I can have 2 different feels for whatever my destination is and what, again, my color palette is. I love it so much. So maybe try a sophisticated backpack in a leather, maybe a nylon, or another durable material that screams sophisticated lady, not high school student. Then pack a crossbody bag in your luggage or your carry-on. Make it something slim that you can easily slide into the side of your suitcase or your carry-on, but then it can also double as an evening bag and fit your essentials while touring, heading to dinner, a show, etc. Some of my favorite crossbodies are the Rebecca Minkoff ones, like the Mini Mac crossbody or her Love quilted crossbody. Find something in a color that still coordinates nicely, again, with your original color palette. Number 8, going small with your toiletries. So TSA already makes it hard enough to travel as a girl, but then add in the fact that like I'm a girl that loves her makeup and I need my liquid under eye concealer on the daily. TSA makes it almost impossible. But I recommend going to a makeup counter like Sephora or even your department store counters, where there's the Estee Lauder, MAC, all those different makeup counters, and get empty sample cups. Most of the time they're really cooperative and will give you like a little baggie of them for free. So then I take those home and I fill them up with my products that I love and use on every day. I label each one as I make it. Personally, I use a label machine because then it never falls off and, I don't have to worry about the label smudging, but you can use a Sharpie and then cover it with a little bit of clear tape to keep it from rubbing off. I'm usually able to fit about a week's worth of foundation in one of the little sample containers from Sephora. And if I know that I'm going to be gone for more than a week, I fill up 2 of the cups and bring them. And that way they're small enough to fit in my little required Ziploc 4-ounce whatever bag or 1 quart, there we go, baggie from TSA, as well as my, miniature sized hairspray and other products from, again, I find them usually at Sephora or whatever, but you can find the miniature versions of your favorite shampoos, conditioners, hairsprays. I usually make my own containers of like shampoo and conditioner just by buying the empty bottles from Target and then filling them up. But when it comes to like the best hairspray that I love, I have to find that in the miniature version. But anyway, I already mentioned this, but make sure, especially for your toiletries and your makeup, pick one color palette that can pull double duty and has a range of shades that can take your makeup from day to night. So like I said, my favorite little eyeshadow palette is the Purple x9 from MAC. Maybe something different might work for you from there, or even one of the Naked palettes by Urban Decay, something like that, where it has, a range of shades that you can make a really neutral and classic casual day look, and then switch it into night by adding maybe like a smoky eye, whatever it is. Number 9, roll your clothing as you pack it. It helps everything get packed super tightly, but it also prevents wrinkles. So use any nook and cranny for small things like your undies and camis. Those can be packed into shoes and in the small spaces between items. I think that one's kind of a go-to. Everyone kind of knew that one, but I thought I'd mention it. Number 10, this one has saved my life, especially saved my jewelry. Pack your jewelry in small Ziploc bags. But here's the catcher. Pull the chain of your jewelry out slightly of the zipper and then lock the Ziploc part with the chain, just part of it, hanging out. So it actually keeps the jewelry from tangling up, not only with itself, but from any other pieces, so that you can easily get to it and put it on, saving time every morning. Because when you're in a destination or you're traveling, who wants to spend a ton of time getting ready and getting dressed and still looking great? You can easily get your jewelry out, put it on, and you're good to go. So I hope that you've learned some style hacks when it comes to traveling with ease and keeping your style on point this season. Where are you traveling in the next few months? I would love to hear about it, so share with our community about your travel plans with the hashtag Style and Grace Travel. So use the hashtag on both Instagram, Facebook, whatever, hashtag Style and Grace Travel, so that I can see some of your favorite go-to looks this season. Until next time, I love you all.
Hey ladies, thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. To help empower more women, please be a doll and rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. For show notes and other free resources we mentioned today, go to stylebydeidra.com.